Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm writing to when a spiritual seeker is not making progress or regressing, is a guru necessary? A guru, guru a mass of, I'm guessing it goes this one, a mass of spiritual wisdom. So my assumption would be yes, this is a very, very, very short video from Swami here. And the only reason why I picked it is because if a person is not making, spiritual progress or is regressing, is a guru needed? Or is he going to suggest other things like books and stuff? I would assume, I don't know what to assume honestly, but I would say yes in my assumption here. I mean, there's also the potential, there's a lot of assumptions you can make about the spiritual seeker, whether he is already reading, this person's already reading a book and is just not making any kind of progress. So obviously you cannot suggest a book to a person who's already reading books and just not making any progress. Then at that point you can say a guru is needed, Guru Swami. Or maybe someone who, maybe watching YouTube videos like me and, not making any spiritual progress or maybe regressing, and I haven't really read any books, then a guru may not be needed. Obviously, probably would be nice, but when it's not available, I think a book can help. But then the bigger problem would be is if I'm the first one where I'm reading books and it's just not helping, and there's no gurus nearby, gurus or swamis, what to do then? But let's hear what Swami here has to say.
Thank you for all your teachings. Thank you for your presence in New York. Actually, you kind of touch on my question.
Tell us your name.
Oh, Adriana. You kind of touch on my question on previous answer to the question from the viewers. For a spiritual seeker, once that person reaches a certain stage where it feels stuck, not moving forward, but rather regressing, is a guru necessary? Thank you.
Right. Yes, a guru is necessary. It's always very good. A guru is a person you can refer to, you can ask questions, who will help you. Somebody who has walked ahead on the path before you. Also somebody who is plugged into a tradition and is the holder of a lot of spiritual wisdom which has come down in that tradition. And in our spiritual path, we can benefit from this accumulated mass of spiritual wisdom. So Guru is very helpful. In our tradition, what we do is there are some Swamis who are empowered to initiate, give mantra diksha. So they are the Gurus. So we typically go to the Swami and pray for initiation. They give us the mantra diksha. That's the Guru. And of course, we learn from everybody. We continue to learn from everybody. But we're not limited to one person. But that one person is now the Guru, the spiritual Guru. You may not ever go back to the Guru again and ask anything, but you have a Guru, a lineage, a practice of your own. That's very helpful. And if you have specific questions, again, that lineage and the accumulated spiritual wisdom helps you. It's a very good question.
Hold on, I gotta read that back again.
So spiritual wisdom. So Guru is very helpful. In our tradition, what we do is there are some Swamis who are empowered to initiate, give mantra diksha. So they are the Gurus. So we typically go to the Swami and pray for initiation. They give us the mantra diksha. That's the Guru. And of course, we learn from everybody. We continue to learn from everybody. But we're not limited to one person. But that one person is now the Guru, the spiritual Guru. You may not ever go back to the Guru again and ask anything, but you have a Guru, a lineage, a practice. Guru. You may not ever go back to one person, but that one person is now the Guru, the spiritual Guru. You may not ever go back to the Guru again and ask anything, but you have a Guru, a lineage, a practice of your own. That's very helpful. And if you have specific questions, again, that lineage and the accumulated spiritual wisdom helps you.
Okay, I was going back. It says you may not go back to that guru and ask another question, but you still have that guru. It's not saying that you won't or that you shouldn't. It's just that maybe you only have one question and that's good enough. I'm wondering if like there are many different paths, obviously. Like, what if the guru is not available, the path that you have chosen or that is fitting of you, but perhaps maybe maybe that path that you chose is not fitting of you. That's the reason why you have stopped making progress in it. Maybe it's not the best path for you. You know, kind of like, I guess for me, I'm not sure. I thought I was an Advaita Vedantan, but perhaps not. I'm more of a, man, I can't think of the name anymore. I'm not sure, honestly. I keep saying I need to look up this other path that seems very similar to me, at least my ideas. I'm curious as to learn more about it to see if it's very similar to my ideas. And I believe um, those ideas is that essentially all is God, and this world is real. That particular path, as opposed to Advaita Vedanta, where this world is false, which I don't like to think of it that way, because in terms of Advaita Vedanta, is that Brahman is and nothing else. So this world, this perception of reality is Maya, false, a falsehood, not real. Whereas what I choose to believe, because it seems to make sense, is that you can say that the reality is God, and the world is real, which to me I like a lot better. The other one, there is a fear of extremism in that other in terms of Advaita Vedanta, just because you may think like, well, Advaita Vedanta is all peaceful and everything, and it's true. I wouldn't doubt that, but there are quite a bit of religions out there who are saying that now, right? Not to say that Advaita was not peaceful in the past. It's just more along the lines that, obviously the Western religion in the past have been quite violent and had been more peaceful recently, relatively speaking. But it's just a sheer fact that even in modern times, there's still extremism when modern religion is trying to teach mostly peace because of an interpretation. I mean, you can look around the world, even in terms of Hinduism. I believe there is some extremism. We talked about it with Acharya Prashant's video, I believe. I think it's the more recent one I reacted of his. The person's question was, why is there extremism even in Sanatana Dharma, I believe it was, and then in terms of other things too as well. And I don't want to say what extremism I'm thinking of. I just I just don't want to bring the idea up. But there's could potentially be a case for that. I don't know if I really don't want to say it, but at the same time I want to be open to you guys. But anyways, but I like the idea that the world is real a little bit more, because I mean it makes sense, to me. We can obviously we have the census to prove that it's real, but the census can be false as well. So I mean, we can only how do we say, judge the world, tell that the world is real through our senses. It's the only thing we've really got. And I think some of you guys might push back and saying, well, if you look inwards and you cut off all your senses, but at the same time, if you're not using any of your senses, then you're not sensing anything. Nothingness, basically. Which would then be, you wouldn't be able to know nothingness because you have no way of sensing nothingness. Or sorry. This is quite a deep one, I'm sure. But you only know of nothingness because of your senses. um, and that is explained by when you're not thinking of anything, you are aware of the nothingness. So therefore, there is still a sense there of the nothingness. Your awareness, I suppose, would be a pretty good one. And your awareness, that's actually really, that works with Advaita Vedanta as well too, though. Your awareness of the nothingness of your senses is pretty interesting. Your awareness of of the nothingness because of your senses. You're not aware of your touches, you're not aware of your smells, you're not aware of your sight, hearing, taste. Your awareness of those things being nothing. I wonder if that really works too, in terms of explanation. But anyways, that is like I had to think about that. That's just like something I thought of at the moment. That seems to make sense. This awareness of nothingness. But the problem is that your the problem is that your senses is sensing nothing, and that's the reason why you're aware of nothing. Perhaps that is the reason why. And it's the only way we know of nothingness is because of the opposite. Without the opposite, I think we don't know what we are in. So we would not know sadness without happiness. We wouldn't know happiness without sadness. We would not know. Um, we don't know. Just essentially the opposite. We don't know what's sweet versus sour, bitter versus, or sweet and salty, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Sweet and sour, and bitter and saltiness. I do believe because of the opposite, we are aware of the other, the opposite of the opposite. I don't know. I just thought of that, and I wonder if that's true. I will say that for right now, it is true. Without the opposite of something, we would not know what we are aware of. So the awareness of things makes us aware when we are not aware of things. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that one. It makes sense, but does that mean it's correct? Oof. But again, in terms of Advaita Vedanta, I'm sure the fact of the perception of reality is wrong. So I understand that part. If you argue for Advaita Vedanta, I do understand the fact that this perception that we have of reality is wrong. The Just because of the senses doesn't mean it's real. But I guess my only pushback for that is just the sheer fact that without this reality, would we know the nothingness? I think it's a bit of a difficult grasp to understand. Man, I'm really going on rambling here. I didn't mean this to be a very long video. It's a short one, and it has nothing to do with gurus. Anyways, I'm just gonna stop real quick with the last part. If we only ever knew one thing, and that is nothingness, we wouldn't know any different. Because the only thing we ever experience is the thing that we're always in, and nothing ever changes, and nothing ever is. And therefore, is that living, is that perception, is that anything? It's only nothing. It's a bit hard to, in my opinion, to kind of understand it, but at the same time, it can be understood. Like if you think you always know sadness, pure sadness, and always sadness, but how do you know that you're in sadness if you've never experienced joy? What if the sadness you're experiencing is actually joy, but you think it's sadness? You would not know because you have nothing to compare it to. Essentially, I guess that's what I'm kind of trying to say, is that without a comparison to something that's the opposite of that, maybe not, it doesn't have to be complete opposite, like absolute joy and absolute sadness doesn't have to happen, but you can have absolute joy with minimal sadness, or perhaps absolute joy and no sadness but not joy. Then you would know the experience of what joy is. Because if you're always joyful and never experience sadness or contentment, then you don't know where you truly are. You have no measurements, I believe. That's a complicated matter. This speech I'm talking about is very complicated. If anyone were to reply to it, I'm sure it's quite a mess. And I feel for you guys. I do understand many perspectives, but this is also a thought experiment in terms of my perspective of just in terms of making a counter argument. I understand Advaita Vedanta's perspective, um, but it's just something that doesn't make well, it's not that it doesn't make sense, but it's not the reality that I think that we mostly experience, I believe. Because we experience this reality, but it's claimed to be false, but yet seems so real, you know. Okay, this is really going too far. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, anyways, that was way too much. That's my reaction to when a spiritual seeker it's not making progress. I don't know how I got into that tangent. I do apologize. This was meant to be a quick video because I was very much interested to see if a guru was necessary, especially with Swami here. So it looks like it's nice to have, it seems like. Is it necessary? It doesn't seem like it said absolutely yes in that, but it does seem to say that yes, it's nice to have. Meaning that whether you're making spiritual progress or not, or whether you're regressing, it's the fact that it's always nice to have a guru that can help you, especially since they have a particular lineage that they follow. So anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up the sound down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.